It's time for fearless journalist and leading royal biographer Angela Levin. And there's been another dramatic twist to royal snubgate, with an almighty public row breaking out between Buckingham Palace and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. After the Sunday Times reported that the pair turned down an invite to the King's 75th birthday bash, the Sussexes have sensationally hit back. A spokesperson for the couple has said there has been no contact regarding an invitation to His Majesty's upcoming birthday. It's disappointing the Sunday Times has misreported this story. Crumbs, I wonder if they're going to sue the Sunday Times. Anyway, a source close to the pair told the Mail Online, considering the trip to Kenya didn't go well, this might be a welcome distraction. Now, GBNews also understands that Harry and Meghan haven't received an invite to spend Christmas with the rest of the royals. So, Angela Levin, who to believe?
Well, I wouldn't believe Harry and Meghan. We've got an unknown, unnamed person saying all sorts of things. We can't believe a word of it. I mean, we're so used to them twisting things. But also, the Sunday Times is a very respectable paper, and the royal head of that is also very careful and well respected. So I don't believe that. I'm sure she's right and they're wrong. But I think it was just a trick. If somebody doesn't invite you to something and all they've said they've invited you not going and you don't want to go, then you just shut up, don't you? You don't have to make that in a great bonfire of anger and say, you know, they're wrong, this is wrong, it's outrageous. Why just be quiet? It shows that they're actually reading the press very, very carefully. They say they're not, but they obviously are, to come back with this bonfire very quickly afterwards. It's a nonsense. And actually, I think it's quite right for King Charles not to invite them. What I suggest he's said is that, you know, if you want to come, the door is open. He's done that a great deal. But he's not going to go through all the problem. And I don't think Harry and Meghan are going to go. Meghan can't bear this country anyway, but will go unless they apologise, unless his father and William apologise to Meghan. But what they need to apologise to her for, nobody knows. But he's determined not to give in at all. And so it's all this nonsense, childlike behaviour, is just actually to put their names in the paper again.
I just wonder if the couple are relishing this drama because victimhood is their currency.
Yes. They are victims. Now, the interesting part
millionaire victims.
Yes, millionaire.
In an enormous Californian mansion.
Yes,
with royal titles.
16 bathrooms.
16 bathrooms?
Yes.
Which one of them's incontinent, I wonder?
I don't know. Wouldn't ask. But the interesting thing is that Meghan was told by her new agent that she's got to be happy, she's got to be jolly, no more being a victim, because people are fed up with it, they're not interested in it anymore.
Including in America, they don't like that.
Particularly in America. And so I think that she's passing all this on. She's not saying it, but it's coming through. And that could lead us on to Scobie, who's done this awful book.
Well, indeed, let's talk about that, because this is quite a story. And this is, of course, the Sussexes biographer Omid Scobie, close friend of the couple, is preparing to release his new book, Endgame, which promises to be nothing less than explosive. Scobie will brand the king as unpopular and Prince William as a power-hungry heir, whilst portraying Harry as the prince forced to start a new life after being betrayed by his own family. So there's
Camilla there, a queen willing to go to dangerous lengths to preserve her image. Now, all that is not true. I mean, the king is very popular. He was popular from the moment the Queen died. There were thousands of people around Buckingham Palace, which astonished him. He was very popular when he went to Germany and to France and in Africa.
And he hasn't put a foot wrong so far?
No, he hasn't put a foot wrong so far. And so he is very popular. And to talk about that about William, Harry knows that when he was young he didn't want to be a king, but now he's accepted his responsibility and he's working jolly hard on it. I think it's very spiteful. But my view on this one is that Meghan has been told, as I just said, not to moan. So she can't actually get ahead with her memoirs, which was going to be full of yet how badly she was treated. So she's got old Scobie to do it for her. If you remember back to the other book he wrote, she said she had nothing to do with it, nothing at all. And then she ended up in court apologising, saying she forgot that she told the maid could actually talk to him and tell him lots of things. So this one is going to be exactly the same, full of lies, full of unkindness, full of spitefulness, which is going to hurt them just before Christmas. And I think that they cannot get it out of their system, that they actually live your life. No one's stopping them with their life.
And get on with it. So it's worth pointing out that we have no evidence that the Sussexes spoke to Omid Scobie in relation to either of his books, but of course that is your view, Angela.
It is my view, yes.
Briefly, on the flip side, are this couple not being treated badly, Harry and Meghan? They've been hounded out of the country, they've had to move to America, and they're still getting dissed by the press, including you and I.
Yeah, well, that's because they've become so unpleasant. They're so nasty. They're so awful about things. And also I call them eco-hypocrites, because they're going so many times in private planes, and yet they're telling us that we absolutely must not do that. Harry set up this Travelist, which is when you go away, you're very careful where you go and how you go, and you don't use planes and all that. And he's the patron of that, and he's just doing absolutely the opposite of what he's telling us to do.
I'm offended by the suggestion made by Omid Scobie in this book that our next king, King William, who's a wonderful ambassador for the country, is somehow power-hungry. How can he be power-hungry? He's going to be king.
He's got the power already,
Correct.
yes.
I mean, have you noticed any power-hungry traits by William?
I've seen him work very hard, but...
Is he an empire builder?
No. He's a very happy man now with a happy family and wants to do what actually his father wants as well. They have very similar connections with this.
Speaking of similar, briefly, he's in Singapore for the Earthshot Awards, which is a big eco event. Are you worried that Prince William is now doing the eco bidding for his own father?
I think that he's probably doing a bit because he believes what his father believes in. It's not doing that because he's just trying to please his father. They both agree on this. They've had many, many conversations about it.
Does he really think that, or is he just trying to keep Dad happy?
No, I think he really thinks that because he wanted something very important to do. But I also think he's showing how lazy Harry is. Because Harry was talking about, we must be very careful about all, the weather and all that. But he's doing nothing at all about it. So William can actually show him up. If you look at the two brothers, you see one is not making it and the other is working very hard and putting a lot of effort into things.
Well, I do like William, but I'm slightly worried he's becoming the Greta Thunberg of the royal family. But listen, we'll leave it there and we look forward to catching up very soon. In fact, I think you're joining me on my show on Sunday night.
I am.
For the last word at 10:45. It's always the last word with the brilliant Angela Levin. Thank you, Angela.